What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of my Attack on Titan deep dive series. This is episode number 10. I'm about to tier list rank the major characters of Attack on Titan. This is, like I said, part 10 of an 11-part series. Next week is going to be the final episode where we break down all of Attack on Titan by giving you our favorite seasons, our favorite moments, breaking down everything there is about the series as a whole. So, be on the lookout for that. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you know when that last episode drops. But I appreciate you joining me for episode 10. I'm going to be tier list ranking the major characters of Attack on Titan. I have 5 categories to divide them up into. The first one is My Soldier's Rage, the greatest quote in Attack on Titan, I think. So it's fitting that this is for the GOATs of the series. These characters are the S tier characters. These are the ones that will stand the test of time. These are the ones that when you talk about favorite characters of a movie, TV series, whatever, these are the characters that will go into that category. And then we have every day has brought a new farewell. That's a quote from old Hanji herself. This one's for the characters that once the series was over, I hated the fact that I couldn't be with them anymore. These are the A tier characters, the ones that are so damn good while you're watching this show. Maybe not stand the test of time, but they are pivotal characters of the show, characters that I have grown to love over the course of the 4 seasons. And then we have anyone can become a god or a devil. These are ones that are good. Anybody can be a good character in this series. These are the ones that are notable. They have some things that they do pretty good in the series, but overall they won't really stand the test of time outside of Attack on Titan. And then we have, because he was born into this world, these are the characters that are just there. Okay, these are the ones that maybe I just totally forgot about, and the ones that really, like, I had to sit there and think about who they were. And then obviously the last one is Kenny the Ripper goes here. So I think you can guess who goes there. So I want to put this disclaimer out there. I did the same thing with the tier list of all of the arcs of Attack on Titan. Listen, every character in this show just about absolutely fantastic. Okay, like I love so many characters within this series. I can't put everybody in S tier. Okay, that would defeat the whole purpose of S tier. So a lot of characters are going to go into that second category and probably the third one. But just so you know, that top tier My Soldier's Rage category is only going to the best of the best, my favorite characters of this show. So without further ado, let's jump into this ranking episode. First up, we have Annie Leonhardt. Look, she's a badass, okay? There were some really great sequences with her, especially action-wise. The whole female Titan arc was just absolutely fantastic. She was just a badass through and through. I don't think she's a My Soldier's Rage. I don't think anyone can become a god or a devil. It fits her. So I'm going to put her. Every day has brought in new farewell. I really enjoyed her character, especially towards the back end of the series. Once she comes back from her little crystallization hibernation thing, she has some pretty good emotional moments in those 2 specials. So I'm going to put her right there. Then we have Armin Arlette. Guys, I'm not even gonna waste time on this. My Soldier's Rage, such a damn good character. He's the emotional core of the entire series. He has some just amazing emotional moments with lot of characters, especially Aaron. He punches the shit out of Aaron in that last season. So to me, Armin Arlette is going to be one of the characters that stands the test of time. And then he becomes the Colossal Titan on top of that, which is automatically just badass, right? But as a character, the strategic aspect of his character was really, really great. And the fact that he rose through the ranks, unbeknownst to him, to become the commander of a survey corps. So Armin Arlette, definitely a top tier character. Then we have Marco. Look, I think Marco, he was a pretty good character. He was pretty good. Does he anyone can become a devil? I'm gonna put him every day has brought a new farewell. I'm probably over ranking him here, but I think some of the emotional moments and some of the like just moments in general with this character throughout the series between him and Rhina and then them plus everybody else. Just some really good moments. And the fact that he's kind of timid, shy, reserved for a majority of the series. And then when it comes time to really just lay the dick on some people, he gets his ass whipped. So I still think that I think he's a really good character. Then we have Colt Grice. I'm gonna be honest with you. This guy was just born into the world for me. Like I think he had like a couple of moments here or there, but he wasn't like a really that much of a standout character. I'm not gonna lie. When I was looking at this tier list, I was like, "Who the fuck is that again?" So decent character for the show, but nothing that's gonna be written home about. And then we have old Connie himself. Some really good moments at the back end of the series. He's just sporadically thrown here or there where he has some good moments. The episode where he tries taking Falco to his mom so his mom can come back, such a devastating episode for that character. And one of these standout episodes for sure when it comes to not only just his character but Attack on Titan, because it just means so much to the overall theme of the story, where it's like, hey, we can all become a god or a devil. It's just really the perspective and then the things that you do every single day. He was so close to going over that line, and then Armin shows up and saves him from not only ruining his life, ruining Falco's life. And I think he's a really great character. I struggle with putting him at every day has brought a new farewell, but I don't think he's that bad to go and anyone can become a god or a devil. So I'm going to put him in the A tier. Some great, memorable moments from Connie throughout this series. And Aaron Yeager himself, one of the best characters ever written in any medium, book, movie, game, whatever. He is one of the goated characters. I think there's so many layers to Aaron, not just with the beginning of the show and then how he progresses to Daddy Aaron when it's all said and done. But there's just so much to Aaron that really I could spend an entire episode just talking about him and his character in general. And look, if you've been following along with the deep dive series, Aaron has been getting most of the screen time with this series. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse here. Aaron is definitely one of the best characters of anything ever. I would say he's probably the best character in Attack on Titan. And I mean, honestly, he's Daddy Aaron at the end. So that does elevate him even past the S tier to me. But yeah, great, great, phenomenal character there. Then we have Commander Irvin, who has the My Soldier's Rage speech. Some fantastic moments with this character throughout his time on the show or in the series. I love the voice acting for him in the dub. So, look, I don't think I can put him in anything other than My Soldier's Rage. It would be sacrilegious for me to put him in any tier other than the tier of the greatest quote an Attack on Titan. He has the greatest speech. Every time he talks in Attack on Titan, I'm like, dude, I just want to run through a fucking wall for you, dude. So I'm putting Commander Irvin in top tier. I'm probably overranking him there, but you know what? This is my list, not yours. So we'll leave it at that. And then next up, we have Flock. Flock. Okay. I'm trying to put personal bias aside. Flock was such a baby back bitch for a majority of the ending of Attack on Titan. But I think in terms of being a quote unquote villain for Attack on Titan, like I know everybody is like the villain versus hero, good versus evil aspect of the show is really dependent on your perspective of these characters. But he was really great. There were some moments that I'm just like, I just fucking hate you, my guy. I'm probably overranking him. I'm gonna put him in Every Day Has Brought a New Farewell. I think when you talk about Attack on Titan, there are some characters that you're gonna mention right off the bat. Aaron, Armin, you may have one little off character, and the other ones I'm not going to spoil, that I'm going to put in this category. But I don't think Flock is really going to be a part of that conversation. So I'm going to put him in the old A tier. Every Day Has Brought a New Farewell. He's really great during the course of the series, and you really just despise his character in like the best way possible. But I don't think he's going to really stand the test of time in terms of best characters of all time. And then next up, we have Emir Fritz. I know she's like pivotal to the story, but I mean, honestly, she has some good moments towards the end. Anyone can become a god or devil. Like, I think she's good for the story and she's fine, has some notable moments. But when you're talking about Attack on Titan, you're not talking about her in the group of these other characters in terms of being the best characters of the show. Now, granted, she doesn't get a whole lot of screen time, so there's that, but that's neither here nor there. Frida Rice. I think you could put her. She doesn't really have any moments either. So I'm gonna put her because he was born into this world. I think she's okay. She has some moments, but in terms of just a character that I like I could legitimately never think about her in my life unless I'm watching the show. So I'm gonna put her right there. And next up is Gabi. This I'm afraid I might lose some friends over. All right. This one's gonna be tough. Look, personal bias aside, voice acting aside here, I think her character and people will. I know we argue about it on the podcast for this deep dive series. That I argued that Gabi is just the mirror version of Aaron Yeager, and I will defend this to my dying breath. Gabi starts off where Aaron ends up, and then they reverse when it's all said and done. I know my friends out there will disagree with me, but I really think, and I'm gonna get the text message when Corey watches this, or Chris watches this, or Brayson. Y'all are gonna watch this, and y'all are gonna be like, "Are you fucking out of your mind?" And I am. I am. I think she is once you get past the first like 3 or 4 episodes, she becomes more bearable. And then over the course of that final season, guys, I did it. Okay. I think she is one of the best characters in Attack on Titan. Voice acting aside, okay, that voice acting gets me every fucking time, especially at the beginning of this show. Uh, Gabi is one of my favorite characters. I will die on this hill. Not only in terms of her character development throughout that final season, but she has some really great moments as well. I mean, she shot off Aaron's head, which was fucking dope. I remember watching that episode for the first time and being just dumbfounded that that happened. And then it ends the episode right there when she shoots his head off. So to me, Gabi has some great moments throughout the series. Again, you got to get through those first few episodes. She's a little unbearable, especially with the voice acting. But after reading the manga and after watching the series a couple of times, yeah, she's one of my favorite characters. And I will, again, die on the hill that she is the mirror version of Aaron. Next up, we have Grisha Yeager. This guy, look, I'm getting to the point where I'm putting everybody in S tier. Look, I think he is one of the best characters of the show. I'm not going to put him in S tier. I think he's close. I think he's almost to S tier, and he has some really, truly great moments, emotional moments at that, and it's more so towards the back end of the series. he has some great moments. Um, but in terms of fuck it, fuck it. My Soldier's Rage. I'm talking myself into it. I think he's closer to an S tier character than he is an A tier character. Again, I'm probably overranking him just a little bit. I think my bias is getting the best of me. All right. But, but I will stand on this. I think his character development throughout the entire series is really, really great. You can't tell the story without Grisha Yeager. He has some truly fantastic moments, some great scenes with a lot of different characters. Really, some of my favorite episodes for sure was the Beyond the Wall stuff, which is why I did a little recap lore episode with Beyond the Walls, was because of Grisha. So I think he's one of my favorite characters in Attack on Titan for sure. And again, you can't tell the story without him. He is one of the pivotal characters of the show. And I mean, I know he didn't technically say this, but the "on your feet, Dad" was from Aaron. But that to me is the probably the greatest moment of Attack on Titan, next to My Soldier's Rage and among others. You feel for him so much over the course of his story, where he is just suffering, and he's suffering even more because of his son Aaron. So there's so many layers to that, and I really do love his character. It's going to be closer to the S tier than it is the A tier, so I'm gonna put it there. Next up, we have Hanji. I would have my house ransacked and probably burned to the ground if I did not put Hanji in the S tier. Hanji is one of my favorite characters. She has one of the best deaths, and it was heartbreaking. Like, I watched it the first time, and like, don't get me wrong, I thought the death was like, oh shit, that sucks. I hated to see her go, you know? But the second time, after reading and watching the series, it was like, damn, dude, like that really hurts, you know? Like, just seeing her die. But she went out her own way, and you gotta respect it, you know? So that whole moment was just really great. Her quirkiness towards Titans was just hilarious. So yeah, My Soldier's Rage for Hanji. And next up we have Historia. I am not the biggest fan of Historia. I don't know if that's a hot take. I don't think she's a bad character by any means, but I found a lot of the episodes that really went into her character more so than, like, I wish I would have got more of Connie, Sasha, Jean more so than Historia. I feel like we got so much more Historia, or maybe it was just like we got like longer episodes with her, like devoted strictly to her. um, I'm gonna put her anyone can become a god or a devil. I think she's right there with Ymir. I think that her character is good, not great, and I can watch it during the course of the series and be happy about it. I think she's decent, but I don't think she's I don't think she's anywhere near these other characters. And then we have Hitch, who has some decent moments throughout the series. This was Annie's roommate. This was what's his name? Marlowe's friend. I'm gonna put because he was born into this world. I think she's fine over the course of the series, but when I looked at her picture, I was like, "Who the fuck was that again?" So if I think that, look, yeah, it can't be to the B tier, you know. So I'm gonna put her right there. Um, I think she's fine, I, but I legitimately never think about her whatsoever. And then we have Jean, who really grew on me towards the end of the series. I think he gets more moments over the course of the final season and then the two specials, especially. I'm gonna put him in there in the A tier. I think he is definitely that character that he doesn't stray too far from leaning more towards good. Like, he doesn't ever lean towards being a bad character or an evil character, I should say. He's always the guy that's sitting there and he thinks about his friends more so than anything. He's that guy that, yes, Aaron is his friend, but he's going to choose everybody else over Aaron. And he's that suicidal maniac. And then his relationship with Rhina at the very end, how that thing just exploded into a bromance. Um, just some really great moments with John over the course of this series. Kenny the fucking Ripper goes in the Kenny the Ripper goes here category. I mean, I don't know what else to tell y'all. The de facto worst character of Attack on Titan. I fucking can't stand him. I will take any of these other characters over him. We devoted so much time to Kenny the Ripper, to a character that is I get it that he's pivotal to some of the moments in that arc, but for me, I fucking can't stand him. The absolute worst character. I mean, it says something when you have a category all to your own. So, King of the Ripper, the worst character. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I will not accept notes on it. Then we have Levi Ackerman. Look, S tier. This list doesn't count. No list counts if Levi Ackerman is not in the S tier. He is probably my number one, number three favorite character. I think anytime that I watch the series, it swaps back and forth. Like when he's on screen, I'm like, oh, fuck, like, he's my favorite character. And then Aaron will come on and I'm like, ah, fuck, he's my favorite. So it kind of just changes back and forth over the course of any watch through that I do. But absolute badass character. And I love that he has like a dark sense of humor in terms of like he's always talking shit to people and he's always talking about beating the shit out of people. So to me, he is the most badass character of the entire series. So next up we have I think that's Theo McGath. This was the Marley general. I'm going to put him, he had some good moments and I have to put him in at the same time as somebody else. So I'm going to put another character right next to him, mostly because the moment that they share together is just a great moment for both of these characters. But I did enjoy the fact that his character, he related to the Marleyan Titans group more so than he should have. And he looked at them as like his children. I really enjoyed his character. I think when he's on screen, like I'm not looking away, doing other things. He's definitely one of the, like, he's a good character overall. And then we have Marcel Galliard. This is a guy that pushed Rhina out the way, and then he got ate. I just gonna put him in because he was born into this world. Like, to me, I could take him or leave him. He serves, he has nothing in my heart. Okay, so I'm gonna put him right there. And then we have Marlowe, who has some a good moment or two. I'm going to put him right there with Hitch. I think he's okay over the course of the series, but not really anything to write home about. And then we have Mikasa Ackerman, who is automatically in that S tier. She is such a fucking good character. And I love how she is totally devoted to Aaron. And she is again, she's the splitting image of Ymir in this story, and how she's the one. Nobody else can kill Aaron but Mikasa. And that's the only way to stop that cycle of violence and revenge and death. Mikasa's right there at the heart of it. She is I mean, if we're being honest, she's the main protagonist of the series, I think, right outside of, I mean, you can make the case for Aaron being protagonist, antagonist, but she is like, you can't have this story without Mikasa. She is one of my favorite characters of any show ever, and that's why she's in the OS tier. Next up, we have Zeke. I really love his character. Fuck, I'm to the point where I'm putting a lot of people in the S tier, and people are gonna be like, "Dude, why don't you just put everybody in the S tier at this point?" I think Zeke has to go there. He is such a damn good character, and the moments where he is, if you dive deep into his character, he's really just a kid that didn't have his father, basically. I hate that the very end of the series really just pushed him aside. I think we needed some more moments with him overall, But from what we got over the course of what was it, the end of season one, or when he initially got teased, and then they just sprinkled him in throughout, and he was just such a mysterious character. And then we get all of his backstory, and again, he's just a truly amazing character. I love it when he's on the screen or I'm reading about him. Just some really great moments throughout. Um, and then the whole Levi and Zeke rivalry that they had going on was really great. So yeah, I'm gonna put him up in the S tier. Next up, we have this guy Aruo. This was a guy that got roundhouse kicked by Annie. Yeah, this is gonna be in the because he was just born into this world tier. I think he probably had some couple moments here or there that was fine. I had to have someone tell me who it was, so I got to put him in that tier if I forget who you are. And then we have on Yankapon. He had some good moments throughout. I don't think he's an A tier character, but I'm gonna put him. Anyone can become a god or a devil. Um, he was definitely one of the new characters in the last season that really grew on me, and he had some fine moments here or there, but nothing to really write home about. And then we have Petra, who was part of the Levi squad. I'm also going to put her in this tier right here because I had to have someone remind me who she was. If I remember correctly, she was the character that was going up against Annie and she got smashed against the tree, if I'm not mistaken. So, if I remember correctly, she had some okay moments, but it wasn't anything to say, oh, this is one of the best characters of Attack on Titan, because I don't have that thought. And then we have Pike Finger, who was the cart Titan, one of the Marlians. I hate that Titan voice. It's really just the dub. But I hate that Titan voice. I'm going to put she had some good moments, but if I didn't have her, I wouldn't be upset with it. So I'm gonna put anyone can become a god or a devil. I think she's fine. She has some pretty decent moments towards the like in the specials, but just overall as a character, uh yeah, you could take her and I wouldn't be upset with you. Then we have Porco Galliard, who was also the Jaw Titan. He had some good moments overall. Like he was just really pissed off at Rhina most of the time. Again, I'm going to put him right there next to Pike as anyone can become a god or a devil. Some good moments, but he just doesn't belong in that upper echelon tier of Attack on Titan for me. And then we have Commander Pixis, who he has some pretty damn good moments. And then he ends up turning to a Titan, which sucks. But um he was better than these characters right here. I think he's probably closer to like the bottom portion of this category than he is to the top. But I'm gonna put him in it. Every day has brought a new farewell. I think you know what? I think he's closer to this. I'm gonna put this one. He's one of those characters that's good, not great. I just don't think he's on the same playing field as Annie, as Jean or Connie. I just don't think he's up there. He's a good character now. He's a good character. But I just don't think he's on the same playing field as these other ones. Rhina Braun. S tier. You make a case that this is the best character in Attack on Titan, and I wouldn't fight you for it because I think he is probably the best. Is he my favorite? No, I think Levi is going to inevitably take my favorite right next to Aaron. But Rhina is a top 5 character for me. I think he is one of the best characters ever written. His redemption arc throughout this series was just absolutely phenomenal. It's crazy to me that he was one of those guys that just wanted to die. Wanted to die. The whole time he was just like, "Hey, kill me. Kill me now." And then he's one of the ones that ends up living, but he also finds a new purpose in life. So his redemption arc is one of the best well written arcs ever. Got to put him in S tier. And the next up, we have Sasha. Got to put her in. Every day has brought a new farewell. I don't think that we got enough of her throughout this series. The moments that we did get of Sasha were just absolutely great. She was really I didn't want to call her the comedic relief because that's not what she was, but it just seemed like some of the lighthearted moments all revolved around Sasha and her eating. I mean, she's the potato girl, you know? So when she ended up getting killed in the final season, just heartbreaking. That was when you knew the show had, like, it was almost to the end. It was like, okay, now anybody can die. If Sasha was one of that core group, Sasha's dead. I mean, anybody can be up next, you know? So Sasha to me is a really great character. I just wanted more of her. Like that's how good she was. We just didn't get enough of it. It's like she's right there with Jean and Connie. Like those three, it's fitting that those three are like a group of friends aside from everybody else, because I think they got blackballed over the course of this series. I just don't think they got enough screen time compared to some of the other characters that I didn't really care for as much. And then we have Commander Shottis, who is going to go right next to Magath down here. His moment with Magath, how they're on two opposite ends of commanding a group of people. One's for the Marlians, one's for Parody. To me, them coming together at the very end was just a great moment. I can't put them in A tier. We don't give enough of him. But I think the moment between him and Magath is so good that it just, to me, is it's one of the more memorable moments of the show, especially the final season. And between these two characters, that scene was just really, really great. And then we have Falco, who is, yeah, I'm gonna put him in the every day has brought a new farewell. He is a really good character. He basically brings Gabi back to the good side. Basically, he is the pivotal character that keeps her from being an Aaron in this story. He's really the emotional core of her storyline. And I don't think that Gabi has that mirror image, that arc conclusion of being the opposite of Aaron without Falco. So I think he's a pivotal character of the series. And he also has the Flying Titan. So he's one of one, you know? So he's pretty fucking dope. Um, just some really good emotional moments. I tell you what, one one scene in particular that really kind of breaks my heart every time I watch it is when he has befriended Aaron and he brings Rhina to Aaron at the very beginning of the final season, and he's just like, "Oh, wait, what are y'all doing?" And like he had no fucking clue what he had done. It's just a simple moment, but it was just heartbreaking. Like y'all did that to my boy Falco, man. That's like trying to take a candy from a little baby, you know? It was too easy. But yeah, I put him in the old A tier for sure. Then we have Yelena, who I don't think she has some good moments, but I don't I don't think she's down here with them, you know? Like I'm gonna put her in A tier. I think she's closer to an A tier character than she is being with Amir, Historia, some of these other characters that didn't really get a whole lot of screen time. Yelena has some pretty decent moments throughout the series, so I'll put her there. And then last but not least, we have Emir. This was the other Jaw Titan. I am going to put. She's not my favorite. She's not my favorite, but I feel dirty about putting her in this category. You know, I am going to put her here. I'm going to put her in the A tier. Every day has brought a new farewell. And hear me out. I think she has some badass moments. One of those being when they're on top of that tower, she slices her hand, jumps off, and turns into a Titan for the first time. So that was a badass moment. Not gonna lie. That was one of those moments you're like, wait, how many fucking Titans do we have in this show? You know, like how many people are going to turn into these Titans? So when we got that moment, it was really great. One thing that I cannot stand about, and it's not even really her character in general, it's really how they wrote the story. They killed her character off screen. And for the longest time, I was like, what the fuck happened to Ymir? And it wasn't until like I Googled it. This was like after my first watch, because I had just totally forgotten about her character. They show her and then they never really mention her again, except like one little scene where she wrote to Historia and said, "I'm about to die." That was it. And then you found out that she got fed to what was it, Porco to become the Jaw Titan. And then her relationship with Historia was really great. And their heartfelt moments at that with Historia. But again, I don't think she belongs in this category of characters versus this one right here. Like I think she fits better up here. And that makes me think, does Historia belong up there a little bit more? Now that I'm putting Ymir, I don't. No, I'm leaving it. I'm leaving it. Okay, it is what it is. Not changing it because there was just some moments throughout the series I was like, okay, Historia, we get it. Fucking, you're the queen. Let's fucking move on with our lives. Ymir, fuck it. I'm moving. Anyone can become a god or a devil. She's not gonna be one of those characters that I talk about a whole lot. I think, yeah, I talked myself out of it. See, this is what happens when you are indecisive. Well, guys, that is it. What do you think about my tier list here? Do you think I got it right? Do you got it wrong? Who are your favorite characters of Attack on Titan, and who are your least favorite? Is Kenny the Ripper there? Because he better be. I do know that I probably put too many characters in that S tier, but you know what? I stand by it. Okay. I stand by this list and I will die on the hill that these are where the characters deserve to be. But guys, again, let me know down in the comments below what I got right and wrong. While you're there, hit that like and subscribe button. That's really going to help us grow and expand the podcast. And then make sure you hit that notification bell so that you know when we drop the next episode of this deep dive series. And yeah, we're almost there. One more episode. This is one of the most daunting deep dive series that I've ever done, and I've had a hell of a time doing it. So join us next week as we break down the entire series of Attack on Titan and give you the reasons why it is one of the best series of all time. So hope to see you there. Thank you for joining me for this episode, and I will catch y'all next time on another one. Laters.